that's my why, is to sit with people, figure out who they are, who they want to be, and then help them solve that problem. And whether it's connecting somebody, spending time, investing, that's a lot of our thesis.
This is Entrepreneurs the Playbook, where I give you access each week to the world's greatest athletes and executives about their personal and professional playbook and what has made them champions on and off the field. This is the Playbook.
This is Dave Meltzer, CEO of Sports One Marketing with Entrepreneurs the Playbook. And I will tell you, I've been an entrepreneur a long time and in sports a long time. Baron Davis, NBA All-Star, but I know you because every deal somehow that gets put in front of me, whether it's entertainment, digital, somehow Baron Davis's name comes up as early as Vitamin Water. Everybody's bragging that, oh, Baron Davis is involved. And you were still playing like with the Clippers and people would tell me, oh, Baron Davis is involved. Like, how many Baron Davises are there out there that play basketball? Because you are in every deal. It is amazing. How, did you get this inspiration to be such a worldly entrepreneur?
For me, I think it was more so survival. When I stepped out and became my own agent, it forced me to represent myself, right? And I think a lot of times ignorance is bliss, right? And, I was going into it knowing that there was a room full of education that I needed to learn, and opportunities would come, and I just had to be smart about taking the right opportunities and betting on myself. And I think, as I continue to grow in basketball, you learn a lot from just the company you keep. You learn a lot from just the veterans that you're having conversation with, and you start to seek out the right people that can help you build things, do things, and some are wins, some are losses. But if you take for me, it was like, look, this is my business school. I'm going to pay for business school, win or lose. This is, my outcome should be greater as a person than what I've spent, in this time and space. And I think that's why now I'm like, I've been able to connect the dots in different industries and find where I fit, right? So maybe eight versions of me, but it's just the work that I've put in.
It seems like to me, we share this, but you go from your gut a lot of the times, right? I ran the most notable sports agency in the world, and when you decided to represent yourself, in my mind, I'm like, what he should do? Instead of representing himself, he should just find some agent that wants to represent him and have him do it for free and then learn and use that agent. But, you really, what age did you start going from your gut? Because I know like deal flow wise, sports wise, you just get a feeling and you make those decisions with your gut.
I was 19, 20 years old. When I was 19, I kind of had a feeling that, I didn't understand the agent business and how it pertained to me. Part of it, you can say I was a spoiled kid who needed attention. But that's probably like a big reason. But, I also took the time every summer to pay the dues to learn what an agent would do. And so all of my summer was spent in basketball and in the office. Office, go home, go to sleep, wake up, basketball, go to the office. So it was just like, I had a job and an internship. And when that time came about, when I was 20 years old, I was thinking about what I was going to get, what my percentage was, what the agent percentage was, and start to look at like, I can build my own business for myself because, I don't know where I'm being benefited from by, being in a pool with, 40 or 50 guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's pros and cons to that, right? Relationships and things like that you have to go out and reestablish and build. But, through the grace of through basketball as a talent, I just think that people they looked at me different, and they start to respect me as I got older and older, because they start to see that he actually did something that nobody would have ever done, and now we should all be doing that, right?
Of course. Now you've always been a good student, and you grew up with your grandparents. I'm a mama's boy. Seems like you're a grandma's boy.
Yep.
And my mom was tough on me.
Yeah.
And it seems like your grandma had high expectations off the basketball court for you, and it seems like that carried over as well. What were the best things? Because parenting, I have 4 kids, you got kids. What's the best thing your grandmother taught you that you're carrying down being a parent yourself now?
You gotta have a plan B and a plan C. And she used to always say, you're not gonna win every game, right? And you're not gonna be able to play basketball for the rest of your life, but you can't use your brain. And your brain is more powerful than anything that you are going to be able to physically do. So, don't let your brain go to waste. Actually, if you're going to play basketball, then, how you gonna be the best on the court and then be a dum-dum in the classroom, right? It just don't add up. And so I think for her, it was the challenge of, this may not work out. You still need your education to fall back on.
Were you scared of your grandma?
No, it was, I was scared of failing my grandmother.
Yeah, letting her down.
Yeah. I wasn't afraid of her. I was afraid of letting her down. I was afraid of not being everything and anything that she could, ever imagine, right? And so it was almost like I built like an unreachable goal, right? And that never wanting to fail, the fear of failing her, made me just like keep trying and keep reaching and keep climbing.
In my upbringing, that's called Jewish guilt. Mm-hmm. That's what my mom used for me and my pop siblings. So out of all the things that you've accomplished, right, on and off the court, philanthropy-wise, as a father, all the different things you do, what do you think your grandmother admires most of your achievements?
The fact that I'm a really good daddy.
Yeah. And what about you? What do you admire most about yourself?
And I'm a really good daddy.
Yeah,
like, it's for me, I think the best work and the work you can do as an individual is, raising a child. And so for me, it's like, that's any type of legacy I want, I want to make sure that I'm the best dad to my kids and they have every opportunity to realize themselves, right? And I think that's what my grandmother would want, and that's what she wanted for me. And, I turned out all right.
Well, you're running a lot of businesses, you have your own venture fund, there's a variety of things you're involved with. With millennials today, I see one of the best experiences or things that I put to use is I have 3 teenage daughters and an 8-year-old son. Well, unlike me, I grew up in Akron, Ohio. You may know a basketball player that was
brother-in-law from Akron.
Nice. Yeah. And I grew up with nothing, so I had a huge advantage in my life, right? Yeah. And I still do. It's like I don't have fear of losing everything because I know what it's like.
Right.
Right. I look at these millennials, a lot of them, and entitlement, and then my own children. How do I empower them with the desire that I have, to provide value, to be of service, to achieve as much as I can, which stems from this hunger. Yeah. How do you instill hunger into your kids when they have everything?
You don't you have to create challenges, right? And I think that it's not that these millennials, they should feel entitled, right? We've done, we should have felt entitled, and maybe we would have been a little more responsible with our adulthood, right? As far as like, the 60s and the 70s and what those people went through, who had no technology, who had to really fight, who had to really march. So, it becomes, I think, our responsibility, right, to program, right, challenges. Mm-hmm. These kids are so smart. It's like the only reason why they're entitled because everything is easy. They figure it out, right? And they have tools that we don't necessarily understand, right? That are complicated to us. Yeah. And so it looks like that, like when people say, I can't believe how, influencers can make money on social media. It's like, dude, that's the most incredible thing. Somebody has figured out how to create their own TV and what works for their fans. So it's like, they're smart. They're smart and super smart. And, I think their entitlement comes from the fact that, we're not creating enough challenges, right? We're just kind of like succumbing to whatever is new and hot and fresh. And so you have this world of venture, this world of content, and these world of, millennials and next wave of cultural influential people, and we're just like scrubbing the surface, right? We're not actually, creating the challenges or solving the issues or funding the companies that really deserve them. We're funding the things that are, more so vanity, right? Or things that are already making money, knowing that they have no sustainability.
Speaking of transitioning from, you did several things and you kind of call it your internship while you were playing, right? You're getting situational knowledge, experience, and relationship capital. And I think you're really wise for, such a young entrepreneur. You were really wise to say, okay, surround myself with the right people and the right ideas. But there's one thing that you had that, and you still do, by the way, that I think a lot of athletes are missing, why they can't make the transition to be as successful off the court as, on, and that's humility. It takes a lot of humility when everybody all day and night tell you, oh, McDonald All-American, you're great. And for no reason other than you're Baron Davis, people will just kowtow to you and, want free meals, you want this. But you maintain humility still today and ask for help for the things that you don't know of. Even though a lot of athletes are like, well, they're gonna think I'm not Superman because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You've always taken the approach, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, can you help me?
Yeah. And I think it's, there's a quality to being the person, who's not the smartest person in the room, right? And I've figured out how to put myself in a room like that all the time, and not saying that I'm not the smartest person, but I'm aware of the capacity of the room, right? And where I am and where I need to go. So, there's a gift and a quality to, and I think it is humility, but at the same time, like, man, if you're gonna give me a free meal, I'm gonna say thank you. I'm gonna eat it, right?
Receivership, right? Exactly.
But you just have to know who you are and who you are, right? Who you are on this court, what your responsibility is on this court. Then what is the carryover from that and your responsibility in life? And then you establish who you are in life, right? And then what your responsibility is to yourself and your family. And so once you can actually separate the court person from the real person and the home person, you learn to appreciate what you're doing, and you appreciate the people who just want to, who love you for that, right? And so it stops you from buying into who that person is on the stage, and it allows you to say, hey, I get to be Hulk Hogan. Yeah. I get to be Michael Jackson, right? I get to be like anybody. I get to be any character that I've ever imagined as a kid on the court. I don't have to buy into that, right?
Yeah.
Right? That is just performance, right? And then as a person in life, I think it's so different when people get to meet, when they meet you and they're like, yo, like, you're a kind of cool dude. And it's like, man, I know I look like an asshole.
And they both mean something. I used to have to be the smartest one in the room because my siblings all went to the Ivy Leagues, and I was super competitive and insecure. So, but, my philosophy now is always, if I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Something wrong.
Right, exactly. I'm in the wrong room.
You've outgrown the room. Yeah. You just outgrown the room.
Yeah, exactly. And that's important. Now, you know who you are in the situations that you're put in. What's your why? Right? I like to get to real winners. They have a why. What's your why?
Problem solving.
Problem solving. And have you always been a problem solver?
Yep.
Yeah.
Problem solving and survivalist. So, just I would say throughout my childhood, like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't know how to survive, if I didn't know how to solve problems, if I didn't know how to create situations. A lot of, what I learned in high school in math is proofs.
Yeah.
Right? So you can solve a problem, you can solve a problem backwards, right, through success, or you can build that problem to where you'll have a positive outcome. And so for me, I think that's my why, is to sit with people, figure out who they are, who they want to be, and then help them solve that problem. And whether it's connecting somebody, spending time, investing, that's a lot of our thesis, is to figure out how can we solve a problem together.
That's awesome. Now, I believe I'm dealing with a lot of entrepreneurs, and they ask me for advice, and I'll say, first, key to business is stay in business. which is survivorship. What advice do you give to entrepreneurs about surviving?
Be nimble. Be nimble. Like don't go and overweight, the responsibilities of your business and your company, to thousands of people, hundreds of people, without really like being able to, know every aspect and move. Because part of surviving is being able to move when a trend moves, right? Or being able to move as the industry is shifting, being able to downsize when the opportunity presents itself, being able to onboard. So I think that would be the most important thing when you're running a business is, don't be overweighted in talent, just, you don't need to.
I look at all the different things you're into, and I was doing due diligence on you. I learned even more. And a lot of people say to me, like, with all the different variants things I'm doing, from TV shows to podcasts to the businesses I run, to the family I have, to the community, the philanthropy, like, you're really busy. Now, I look at what you're doing, and you take the same lens that I do. I think you're very productive, but you're also something that most people aren't, which is accessible. And the accessibility is twofold. One, you're really accessible to others, and especially your family. But moreover, you're really good at accessing, what you need, information, people, the answers, whatever it is. That productivity and accessibility gives you a different perspective.
For sure.
What do you think it is, perspective-wise, where, I should say, let me switch around. How do you view time? Because someone like you, I guarantee, does not look at time as a linear thing. There's enough time for everything.
Absolutely.
How do you do it?
I preach, master the calendar.
Oh, my God. I call it being the student in your calendar, right? Master. Tell me what that means to you. You just took this interview to the highest level.
Yeah, I think that I think if you're able to master the calendar, then you can work your way backwards, right? And nothing ever changes, right? So your routine is your routine. Worlds is worlds. Super Bowl is Super Bowl. Like your holidays and your whole reset when the beginning of the year hits. People are like, oh my God, I'm gonna like reset my year. I'm having a wonderful year. You're already a month behind, right? And so mastering the calendar is actually being a year ahead of schedule, because you already know what you're gonna be doing next year on the same day.
It allows you to be nimble, like you said, right? I also, one of the best pieces of things is I'm 50 now, right? I study my calendar all the time. I master my calendar. I spend more time, what I call, in the white space of my calendar. I used to focus in on being productive and efficient with, who I meet in person, emails, phone calls, social media, whatever it was. But then I started to go, wait a second, I'm not focused on the important stuff. What do I do in my free time? Health-wise, family-wise, community-wise.
That's the struggle, right? That's the struggle. I think, for me, lately I have been traveling all over the place. And then, I think the good thing about basketball is I have the discipline to disappear, right?
Yeah.
So that in basketball, you can like be accessible as you want and like be a regular person, but come October, November, that's it. Like you are a basketball player, that's all you do. And, you don't have to deal with anybody because you have a schedule.
Right.
And so for me, it's like knowing that, I keep my schedule according to the NBA season. So when the NBA season starts, that's when I start weaning off the accessibility and start getting into, focus, routine, cleanse. And I think it makes, being an athlete helps you be able to stop that, because a lot of times you can allow so much access that it'll just continue it'll become fake momentum, right? And so if you master the calendar, you'll know that no matter how much momentum you have, there'll be a breaking point and a stop, because there's something else that you're preparing for.
Where do you keep your calendar? On your phone, paper calendar, all of the different
phone,
you have a paper one too?
I'm not that great.
Yeah.
I'm not that great.
I have calendars everywhere, and I keep them reconciled.
Yeah. I mean, it's in every office. A calendar in every office. Keep one in my head. I'm like watching the NBA calendar, the NFL calendar. I just keep all sports events and holidays like very visible.
That's awesome. All right, last question. Everything you have going on, we always accelerate our careers when we're athletes. It's just, you get to live for so much at such a young age. What legacy do you want to leave, though, when it's all said and done?
I would say that, I would want people to look at me and say, like, yo, that's Baron Davis, and not like Baron Davis, the two-time NBA. You know what I mean? Whatever, however, like, you have to be introduced for somebody to respect you.
Yeah.
And then I love for, people to be like, yo, he was pretty good at basketball. Like, he was pretty good at basketball. Like, I'd rather be known for, my contributions to the world and what I can do, on my brain. And then just be respected and have the respect for my peers, which I do, for the career that I had or the time that I spent playing the game. So, for me, it's just about creating that Baron Davis. That's just me,
Yeah. The Renaissance man, that's what I call you. Well, I certainly appreciate it, and you're well on your way to a great legacy and anything we can do to be of service, because this is a true entrepreneur. Baron Davis, basketball entrepreneur and philanthropist, great guy. Join us again on Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.